Good morning, y'all. Good morning. Let me take this stuff out my mouth. Because I'm like sucking. Take this out. Put it there. Good morning, y'all. Good morning. Good morning. Hey, everybody, come on in. Ooh. How y'all doing this morning? Good morning, everybody. Yeah, I'm running myself ragged this morning, y'all. But I'm here. We here. Hold up. Let's see. Come on in. Let's see. Let's see. So good morning. Good morning. Hey, everybody. Hey, Aaron.
Good morning.
Baby. Good morning. So y'all, we about to go ahead and get started. First of all, we're gonna start talking about we had an amazing weekend over the weekend. Um, Man, the clean campaign showed up and showed out this weekend, okay? And I didn't think I was gonna be able to make it, but I'm so glad that I did. I'm like super glad that I did, and I'm just glad that I did. That's all I really can say. Where Carrie at? Where's she at? She be why she we just got so y'all I hope y'all had an amazing
Oh,
weekend. Look, this is our so y'all, I want y'all, we're gonna start off a little different this morning. Um, we have on Shanetta, and Shanetta is actually one of the giveaway winners that won tickets to go to the Clean Campaigns retreat this weekend. And y'all, listen, when I tell you I felt blessed, but I just want to today talking about self and how, like just our topic for today. But we're gonna get started with Shanetta. Shanetta, how you doing this morning? Can
I'm
you hear
doing
me?
good. I'm doing good. Hope,
Okay, that's good.
yes,
That's
I can
good
hear
to
you.
see you again, girl.
You
So
hey,
just
Janetta.
think?
just give us a testimony. Like, what was your weekend like?
Yeah.
I can't express enough how thankful I was to be able to attend. I've told my coworkers about it. It was amazing. I've never been to a women's retreat, so this was the first time, and I had an amazing time. I mean, I felt the sense of healing. So
Mm.
doing that during the weekend, so I was just thankful. Like I mean it brought a smile to my face. So if anybody,
Oh,
they missed an amazing weekend.
Oh,
oh, that is so awesome.
man, thank you for coming all the way from North Carolina. It was so good to meet you and to just hug you and to honor you and really just look at you. Just it's hard, virtually, but to just be able to hold your hand, look at you, talk to you, and interact with you. And it was just wonderful to be in your presence. So thank you for coming and for being able to attend and driving so far and all that. So we love
I,
you, girl.
I,
Family now. You can't get rid of us.
right. I felt all the love and support, like just to have the support of y'all, all the women, and just let me know that y'all are there. So that was very amazing, like very. So I'm glad you started this. You just don't know how helpful this weekend was for me.
Yes,
Yes.
yes, I'm so glad. Look at that. Look at that.
Mm.
Well, I'm continuously praying for you. I know the other women are. God got you, girl. You're gonna be straight. And we just gonna continue to, wrap our arms around you in love and everything. Yeah, you're gonna be straight though.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Well, y'all, I just wanted her to be able to come on, share just her experience, testimony. Um, yeah, like this stuff it really warmed my heart to see her smile. Like I could be like meeting Shanetta in person. It's like we shared grief, like a similar loss. Well, not similar loss, but we're grieving the same sort of loss. And just seeing her, hugging her, just bringing her in, like, man, when I tell you, if just I felt blessed to be able to just still love on somebody else and bring them in and be like, look, we're gonna get through this, and just so genuine, and just like just knowing that, like, man, we're gonna be good. We just gotta be strong enough to lean on one another and just know who important, more importantly, to lean on. So
Yeah,
yes,
it made
I'm so
me be able to smile again, and
yes.
So that
And girl,
was
you was smiling. I'm gonna show you. Look, I'm gonna show you our little video we did. This was great. So, y'all, thank you so much, Shanetta. Thank you for coming on. And we about to figure out how to get Carrie up on here and get our live started, guys.
all right.
So,
All right. Y'all
have
have
a
a good
good one. You
Bye.
too. Bye. Okay, so
Come on. Come
Good
on.
morning.
Come on here.
okay, popping. So y'all, today we're gonna be talking about self-degradation. Hey, good morning, Kendra girl.
Good morning.
Yes. So today we're going to be talking about self-degradation. Last week we did a lot of just like almost like our prerequisites, right? Like we just talked about like what is faith, like why we pray, like why is this week 2 through 4, like these next weeks, like we about to get real with like, okay, yeah, God is in the midst of everything, but at the end of the day, it's some real deal live situations that's going on within us, that's going on within our homes, our families, like our finances, all that type of stuff. And we're ready to talk about those things and not just talk about them and just, be sad about it, but like to really get some advice on how can we be better in the areas that try to bring us down the most. And so today we're going to be talking about self-degradation and self-sabotage. And if you don't know what that means, that's when you're talking to yourself and you like, you too fat. Like, why you even wearing that? Like when you talk down to yourself or you want to always be like, see, all you do, because you so not consistent. Like you so inconsistent when you say these things to yourself, what it manifests from within, right? And then just like self-sabotage, like you always standing in the way. A great opportunity, God open up a door, you stand in the way, you block your entrance and you close the door. So we're going to talk about all of those things and we're going to give our testimonies on places we've been in our lives where, maybe God wasn't even present at the time. We wasn't even trying. We wasn't even thinking about praying to him. We thought that this was let's call girlfriend or whatever the case may be, and how we was in these moments in our lives that had us there. So yes, I'm a praying mother. This is all Carrie right here, y'all, and it's comfy. And it's comfy.
So cute.
Hey, good morning, y'all. I'm sorry I couldn't get in at first. Kendra, your hair is fire. I love that.
This morning Monday hair.
Girl, that pixie, I love.
Thank
Girl, you wear
Thank
red
you.
lipstick?
Huh?
Do you wear red lipstick?
You know what? Before the pandemic, I was a red lipstick girl, but I'm gonna tell you, I've been looking at some of my old pictures. Wait a minute. Like, girl, get that lipstick on.
Really?
No,
Yeah. I don't know. I gotta try another color because listen, this is how we talk to ourselves sometimes. I'm like, why did I have that lipstick on?
Really?
What?
Yes. Oh my God. I'm like, no. I got to change. But I did wear the red lipstick though. I'm not gonna lie. I was killing it. I couldn't let it go long.
Had you in a chokehold, huh?
On chokehold, okay.
Sorry, y'all. I always get us distracted. I'm sorry, y'all.
Okay.
So listen, so Kendra, I love her so much. This is actually my hairstylist. Like my hair look, it's straight right now, but when I get up out that chair, baby, you can't tell me nothing, okay? Nothing. So but see, every time, man, listen, when I tell you like we be laughing, crying, snotting together. Like she's just such a good, like she's my kindred spirit. And I just love her. And I'm like, she's just a perfect person to, talk about anything with. So, Kendra, just introduce yourself and what experience do you have with self-degradation and self-sabotage?
Listen, so I'm Kendra. I am Mia's hairstylist, but I've been a hairstylist for 28 years. I'm originally from New Jersey. I've been in Atlanta. Wait a minute. What that mean? What that mean?
Jersey in the house.
Shut up. What part?
So I was born in Plainfield, but I grew up in Piscataway.
Nice. Okay, I'm from Newark, but yes. I work in
family reunion going on up here today.
Listen. So she understands. Listen.
Yes.
So I've been doing hair for 28 years. I came to Atlanta in 2017 after pretty much having a salon for 12 years in Jersey, and just ready for change. Like just, like when Mia came to me and said, let's talk about, like she wanted to talk about self-sabotaging and just, how we really don't even know how that kind of puts us in a place. I was like, yeah, I said to her the other day, I was like, I can't wait. Oh my God, because I got so many stories. But the main thing is a lot of my experience was, can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Okay.
can.
A lot of my experience in life has been low self-esteem. You know, a lot of things that stopped me from getting where I needed to be was not just negative self-talk, but it was also low self-esteem, not really understanding who I was, um, being okay with who I was, and also knowing, because the other part of self-sabotaging is that you know that you have dreams, you know that you want to do stuff, you know this, you know it, but you kind of talk yourself out of it. And then you also kind of keep yourself around people who are not going to lift you up, that you kind of just fit in and you don't have to push yourself to rise above some things. And for me, my journey has been so crazy. Even prior to me coming to Atlanta, or even before I opened up my salon, I was in Baltimore for 4 years. And it's like God put me in a space around some women who were 4 years older than me. And their experiences were totally different from anything that I had ever seen before. You know, I've never seen women really, especially my peers, with so much self-care. You know, they had so much self-care, and they cared about things that I didn't even think that were important. I mean, I'm gonna be very transparent. I'm talking about being on top of taking the hair off your legs. Okay. Simple stuff like that. For me, I wasn't around women who were into self-care that way. Those weren't my friends. Not that they didn't care about who they or how they look. I think it's more so the outside things sometimes we get caught up on. But really, like, what's going on inside with you? Why are you not taking time out for yourself? Why are you not loving on yourself? Why not? And a lot of times it's because it's the negative self-talk. It's if you're in a relationship, if that relationship has not built you up but broke you down. If you watch your parents go through some things, watch people around you. You work in a salon, you hear so many stories. Oh my God. Like, it is unfreaking real. Some of the stories that people tell you, you know. And for me, after leaving Baltimore for 4 years and just kind of, I knew, I said, you know what, I didn't go to college for 4 years, but I went to Baltimore for 4 years. And it lifted me up. It gave me the courage to go back home and open up a salon. But even in those 12 years, I realized I had did so much and I wanted to do more, but I felt like I had hit the ceiling. And, you know, when you come from a place, you don't want to make other people feel different or feel like they're less than. So then what you do, you self-sabotage yourself and you stay right where you're at because you don't want to, you know,
Elevate.
you don't want to elevate. You want to
Step on
elevate,
nobody's toes.
but you don't want to, you're worried about other people.
Yes.
And then the other part is, what if I do it wrong? So then now you have the perfectionism involved. And then the procrastination just continuously reigns over you, you know? And when I thought about it this weekend, I thought about what we were going to talk about today. And I was like, you know what? The other part was my faith wasn't as strong as it needed to be, because you can have all those flaws. You can have all of that because we're human. It's only human nature, you know, because things are going to run past your head. I was scared this morning, like not scared, but I was like, oh my God, you know, I'm praying like, God, please just guide my words. You know, if I can't reach anybody, I can reach one person. But that's also a level that I had to get to for me to even get up this morning and, you know, prepare myself. Like, I knew this was happening this weekend. I wanted to talk, I wanted to share, but those are the things that you have to do. You have to, put God first. You got to put your trust in him, because that's kind of like the only way that you get out of that low self-esteem moment. You start removing yourself from areas. You start catching yourself when you're saying things to yourself. That negative talk is serious.
Serious.
It's serious. You know, oh my God, are they going to like me? You know, you can walk in the room, you like, okay. You know, and I mean, and that's real. That's a real deal, you know. But when you start saying, you know what, God, I know you got my back. I know you got me. I've been down here. I don't want to be there anymore. I know this is not going to be easy, but I got to push myself through it, you know. And another thing is learning that for me, coming to Atlanta, I didn't really find my worth, my like when I got here and I saw the overwhelming love that people have for short hair, and for me to see what it was that I had, and I was like, damn, I did that. I mean, I was working it. Listen, Mia, before that shop was a shop, it was a barbershop. The barbershop that's next door, I was working in that barbershop. And I mean, I was amazing myself, but it took for me to lift myself up, take that chance, let God do what he was going to do. I didn't know what was going to happen in Atlanta. I had no idea, but I knew that I had to get out of that situation in Jersey. And a lot of people like, you're doing good. I would never leave. I would never go to Atlanta. Atlanta has so many hairstylists. Da, 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 da. I mean, I had people hit me with all kinds of stuff, you know. And I'm so happy that I was at a place, because there was a time when I was not at that place to where I could block that noise out and say, man, pack your stuff. You will not get to the level that you think that you belong at, or you want to try to get to, or that you're looking at. And it really wasn't that far. I just needed to step away from that. I needed to put my trust in God, and I needed to just go.
Right. You know what I want to say about that though? I think projection, like I think a lot of like our self-sabotage, and when we talk down to ourselves or we don't believe in ourselves, I think it's a lot of, sometimes we be in situations where people project their insecurities onto us. Yes. You know what I'm saying? It may not even be. I remember I was literally in a situation at one point in my life where people would like if, say for instance, if a woman felt insecure about the shade, like her color, like, and I'm like, you lighter than me, and they were like, you know, like always saying stuff like as if, I'm like, that ain't my situation. Like, why you keep saying something to me? Like, you want to try this lighter foundation? Like, I'm like, no, that don't match me. Like, I don't want to be lighter. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, but you know, like the standard of beauty is, I mean, literally, this is no BS. Like, I'm like, bruh, like I've never had that. So then I'm like standing strong, talking to the person, but then in the back, and it was just like, so is this something wrong with me? Why she keep saying like, why they keep making it seem like I need this lighter foundation? Am I doing something wrong? And I think that cycle, it didn't start like, I didn't think it was something wrong with my skin or I felt insecure, but I started to question, was I doing something right or wrong or whatever the case may be? And my mind just started getting played with, you know what I'm saying? Until it was like, and then it was just insecurity. Like I just, depending on who you're around, if a person has a lot of, you know, insecurities, sometimes it could just be projected on you. And it's like, listen, that's not my story. Okay. My man don't be cheating on me. Stop making me feel like he's cheating on me. He's doing cheating on you. Like I've been in situations like that. Like I mess with my hand. Maybe he is cheating on me, but I don't know it. I don't want to talk to you right now. Why are you trying to project that on me? Like I have been around people at a place in my life, and it's a particular moment. I've never really been around these types of people before ever again. It was just a particular moment. And that was the lowest moment in my life as it pertains to how I saw myself and how I showed up in myself. And I was like, it was a real kind of like low point, but I was like, what was it? And it was the people that I had around me. Because the minute I got away from the people, I saw everything shift. You know what I'm saying? Yep. And that's the thing that I think the biggest thing about, you know, when it comes down to self-sabotage and when it comes down to you looking down on yourself, look around and see who you got around. Who are the closest people that's to you? Because like you said, if you're around people that bring you up and uplift you and make you feel good about yourself, you probably limit that. But the more and more you feed into it, it's probably you got some people around you that really don't need to be around you. Maybe. And then if that's not it, if you like, well, I got everybody, they good, they lifting me up, then you really need to go into self and see what's going on. But I would say start by looking like, who's around me? Why am I feeling this way?
That's it. Yeah. That's it. And it's true. It's like, for me, I know with being in a salon, I have some really, really great clients in Jersey. Like I love them to death. But you know, when you have this desire inside of you to want more, and then you're around people who don't really have that desire, not to say that they don't want anything, but it's different. And so they don't understand it. Like even to the point of me saying, hey, I'm going to Atlanta. I want to open up a salon in Atlanta, or I want to work in Atlanta. And, you know, to hear other hairstylists say, I would never, you know, and it's like, well, damn, okay, you know, Yeah, I mean, I think the last person who told me that, I was like, yeah, girl, I know you wouldn't, but honey, I'm out of here, and you have to get to that point. And it is
Yeah.
the people that you kind of surround yourself with. And then also understanding that, like, we outgrow places. We outgrow people.
Yes.
I mean, we outgrow things, and that's just a part of life. And there's no elevation in staying in the same place. And
No, it's not.
we start looking old and beat down, and we're tired. We get tired. I mean, if
Yeah.
you can't move and you can't really be who you're supposed to be, then what are you doing? Like, at the end of the day, what are you doing? Because now you're not living for yourself. You're beating yourself down. You're scared to step in the room. Somebody done said, "Girl, this ain't really for you," and you done believe this ain't for you.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, and it becomes a vicious cycle. That's the other part.
Yeah.
Because until you recognize that you're actually doing that to yourself, it keeps going. It never stops. That wheel just keeps going, and it gets bigger and bigger, and it embeds in you more and more. I mean, I literally had to have people. There were some people around me. Actually, there were some men around me who were like, "Kendra, you need to get out of here. You need to go on down to Georgia. You're not supposed to be in Jersey right now. You supposed to. This it. You can't do no more here. Time to go. You need to go. You need to go. You need to go. And it's a good thing too, because God will also bring certain things and people around you. There's so many times that we have those things, but because if your mind is over here, not that God has left you, it's just that you're over here and you don't believe that this can happen. But the minute you kind of shift a little bit and you see some things are happening over here, that's progress. And if you pay attention to it a little bit more, you're like, okay, wait a minute, that feels kind of good. That looks kind of good. It's not that you can't get out of it. It's a process.
Yeah.
But you have to recognize those thoughts and ideas when they start popping up in your head. You are good enough. You are enough. Like, I'm enough. Like, I feel like right now in my life, I am enough. I don't feel like I'm lacking as far as being able to sustain myself. I'm good. I'm so good. Like, if I had to leave the salon, I would be fine. If I had to go work somewhere else, I would be fine. I would be great at Neiman Marcus. Like, hey, girl, come on, get this out there.
Yes.
Because I feel so much better about who I am.
Yeah.
Now I know that I don't want to be a salesperson, because I don't want to walk around the store too much. My paycheck is probably going to go to everything in the
That's
store.
something, yeah.
But it's that thing of changing that thought pattern around, and stop being worried about what this person has to say. People are always going to have something to say.
Yeah.
And I had to
All
learn
over.
that. Unfortunately, they're always going to have something to say, but I have to make sure that when I talk to me, that I'm saying some good things. Yeah, okay, you kind of messed up on that, but we're going to turn that around. It's good.
For sure.
And I had to really train myself to be like that, especially coming somewhere where you don't know how people are going to receive you. You really don't. So I had to show up as myself, as my confident self, cocky sometimes, but I'm so thankful for that, because I've had so many low moments in my life, so many low moments. Like, I'm on my second marriage, and my first marriage, we were young. We had 2 kids, and we weren't going anywhere. That was kind of like it. And when he realized that things were changing and I wasn't looking directly in his direction anymore, he put some things on me. You fat, you're ugly. Nobody's gonna want you. You got 2 kids. Who's gonna want to be with you? I believed that for a very long time. I really did.
Wow.
I did, because my self-esteem wasn't where it needed to be. My faith wasn't where it was supposed to be. So there was a lot of things that he knew that were my weaknesses.
Yeah.
Things that you also walk around with some of your weaknesses too. Self-sabotage. People will work on it. You actually draw attention to people who are just like you, or see your weakness. You know how you said being around certain people, they know. And then when you start changing it up, those people, they gone. They won't be around you no more, girl. You feeling too good about yourself.
That was gonna be one of my comments, girl, is like being careful who you yoke yourself with. Because in my past, I had this habit of yoking myself with, or being in relationship with, people that just weren't good for me, and transparently, being in an abusive relationship as a teenager is where it really started. Like, you know, having low self-esteem, believing what he was saying about me, believing what the name he called me, believing the way he treated me, taking that into, you know, adulthood, and just struggling so bad with that self-degradation and that isolation, that when you get alone by yourself and the enemy are and what you not and how ugly you are and how you're not good enough and
Girl.
you are to do something God called you to do. Like, child, please go sit down somewhere. So that community, I always go back to community, and being yoked with the wrong person could literally change the trajectory of your life. So careful about that, and praying over who God has for you in relationships, multiple friendships and relationships, is important to your life, because being yoked with the wrong person could send you.
You can.
I had a situation. It's making me a little emotional, y'all.
Okay.
Yesterday, last night when I was getting on the plane coming home,
Mm.
and so when I was on my way, y'all know I was rushing to the airport, and the guy who was, I guess, doing the wheelchairs or whatever, I was running through the little tunnel to get to the plane, and the guy was like, "Dang, would you play tennis?" And I was like, I wasn't doing anything that was tennis related. I did have on like some Adidas shorts, but I was like, I didn't have a racket. I have a racket bag. Like, why are you saying this? And so I was like, no, like, why do you say that? You know? And I'm like, cause my legs. He was like, yeah. But that was like the first time that I hadn't really gotten upset about my legs. Like, I had like big calves, but I used to feel like very, very some type of way when people say something like, your legs are strong, or your body is like this, or your body is like that, and things like that, right? And for me, it was like a point of, and I watched this Serena Williams TED Talk, so it really helped me. That shout out to Delta, that be having some good stuff on there. But I watched Serena Williams TED Talk, and Gail was like, well, people say that your body is very masculine, and I'm like, dang, Serena would, like, everybody praises her body. Like, how could you get up here and say that? But when you have like certain features or things like that, and people try to make you feel like what you have isn't beautiful, you really have to look at yourself and be like, no, what I have is enough. So I never felt like this about my body up until probably like 8 years ago, when I got around like a certain group of people, and like people were making comments about my body, like, oh, your legs, you just strong, and you this and you that. And I'm like, I didn't even realize anything about my body prior. I never looked at myself. I just, like, I had a normal person,
Right.
you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So I never looked at that. So people, oh, your feet this size, like, but my shoe was the most sold out shoe that it is. Like, I never found my shoes. Everybody else wear the shoes, so obviously they not. You know what I'm saying? So, it was just people just making comments. Just me going to a different phase of my life where people make comments. And I had got real small, and I was like, God, I don't know, my legs might be a little bit too big, my calves might be a little bit too big, and I got really small, and I couldn't fit my boots. So, you know, like when you have smaller legs, your boots don't feel, your legs don't fill out your boots as good, so they don't look the same. So I was like, wow, my boots don't look. So I said, Lord, if you let me gain this weight back, I will never, ever in my life talk down about myself again.
Right.
And it wasn't until, like, I mean, and I didn't. I always, when I any type of insecurity comes up to me, I always say, like, you are fearfully and wonderfully made. And I always say that to myself.
Yeah.
And it wasn't really until like two that I started working out with a trainer, and my workout community is literally everything. Like, they like big me up and say stuff like, and I don't think that these people are lying.
No, they
Like,
ain't, girl.
people would love to have your body like, but even like with me losing a lot of weight, I'm already not blessed in the upper half of my body. But it made me feel less feminine because I didn't have boobs. I was getting smaller, so I didn't feel that femininity that I wanted. You know what I mean? So I just kind of wanted to share that because when he said that, I felt so good that I could just chuckle it off like, oh, because of my legs, and I didn't feel any type of way when I got on the plane.
Yeah.
I watched that TED talk by Serena Williams, and that was one of the things that Gail asked. And Serena was like, and that's actually a post that I'm actually going to share today on my page. And Serena was like, yes, people say I have masculine body parts and things like that, but you know, if I have it, if I don't have it, I mean, what people are going to say stuff anyways.
Yes.
And
Right.
it just, and her husband loved
Yeah.
her dirtiest drawers, and he is swooning over her. Okay, like
Let's be
googly
clear.
eyed. And that's what matters. You know, at the end of the day, like people are always going to have something to say about your body or your this or your that. Like, so I'm so thankful that I am who I am right now. Like, I'm so thankful that I have the parts that I have now. I don't want to be anything or anybody else, but it is very important to be mindful of. And people see me all the time like, I wish I had your body, but I have to always be transparent and tell them like, for just a slight second, I won't say this is a long time in my life, but just for a period, some people's bringing up these flaws of mine, and I'm like, well, not flaws, but things they felt is being flaws.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it really had me very, I was like in a very not like healthy space in my life to where I was just feeling like this was, I don't feel this as beautiful or as feminine. Like no woman wants to feel this. Well, I don't want to feel like that. I do want to be soft and you know what I mean? So I'm sorry I went on and on, but I just
No, you didn't.
No, you didn't.
No, you didn't. And I think it's so crazy because I think that, you know, it's body imaging is so crazy right now. It's like it's like a standard that's out there. And if you don't got if you don't fit the standard, right, yeah. You know what I'm saying? And it's like it can really mess with how your mind perceives, you know, like how good you are. Cause it's like if you don't fit this standard, it's like, okay, your booty gotta be like real peachy, real sticking out, you know what I'm saying? Your waist gotta be slimmed in the mud. Like all of these different things or whatever. When you look at yourself, you're like, oh, my booty a little wide, a little flat, top, smushed it at the bottom. You know what I'm saying? Like,
these my favorite pants.
Exactly. Like, you know, my waist a little, you know, like all of these different types of things. Like it really kind of can make you feel like, okay, so it just make you kind of feel less than as it pertains to the standard. But and body dysmorphia is real. I think that just so many images, but I'm like, the thing is we can't change the image, and that's the thing. I think is like we can't change the image. I'm not about to want to necessarily fit in. I'm okay with not fitting in. It got to be to a point to where you're okay with self. Like I don't look, that's a standard, but that's not my standard, right? That's the world standard, but that's not my standard. And then you create your own standard and walk in that. And the thing is that that's easier said than done, I know. But I'm like, the biggest thing is that like, that's the type of things it's like you acknowledge. We want to be in a place where we can like acknowledge things, right? Acknowledge our flaws, acknowledge what's hurting us, acknowledge our inner hurt. So then that's the stuff that we take out and we present when we having our conversations, driving in the car, when we, you know, getting on our knees and talking to God. These are the things that like, it don't, you know, like this is what we want to talk about, some real stuff. That's the real stuff you want to be helped with. So you're like, God, please, like help me fix my eyes. You know what I'm saying? If it is something that you want to get better in, you want a smaller waist, help me to put the French fry down. Like help me to get in the gym. Just like in your casual conversations and your formal conversations, like literally, these are the types of things that's not, like, it's not too petty for God. Like it's something that he like, bring that to me, because that's something that can weigh so heavy on you. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. And it's just like, these are the type of things that we need to be real with ourselves and just address, acknowledge, and then be like, handle it. And the handling it is like, just like I said, just quickly going to God like, hey, you know, I just want you to help me through this, you know?
Yeah. And you know, another thing I want to say too, like, we have to be mindful as women, like, do what works for you. I started working out as a way for myself, but it became a way to advocate for women that don't want to have this. And I'm not surgery shaming at all, because some of y'all be looking cold. So I'm not surgery shaming.
A lot of y'all be looking cold.
Some of y'all, I don't know the antibodies, I don't know, but some of y'all be looking cold.
not the ant.
The ant body.
I just saw that on the meme. I'm not shade. We don't shade people. I'm just joking.
Yeah, I understand.
JK, y'all.
Jake, I'm just kidding. I don't want the anyways, I don't want women to feel like they need a man's approval to see them as being beautiful.
Come
A
on.
lot of times, I know I joke a lot, and this don't sound like a joke, but I'm dead serious. We women, I'm not gonna say we, because I'm here side of Sue, Kendra. So I hear all the insecurities. I hear this.
Woo!
I'm a counselor. I'm a counselor and hairstylist by day.
Certified. You certified.
I'm certified. So I hear this stuff all day. And, you know, we'll see a man cheating with another woman, and she'll have the this and the that and the that and the this. And he'll say something like, well, I don't want you to look like this. But why you keep, so be you. Be you. Be who you want to be. If you are thin, you better find you some of those good little cute little new 90s clothes, because I can't wear them. I'm too, my booty and stuff too big. I can't wear the cute little new stuff, but you can wear that. Find what works for you. And when you start doing stuff, especially particularly like for men, a man will literally let his stomach go out to here and be telling you, you know what I'm saying? Oh, you need to look like this. No, babe. No, this is the deal. Honest truth. Seriously, like,
it's the whole truth and nothing but the truth. So help
and
you.
We are trying to, and not saying like me as in myself or Jamil or any of y'all. I'm not saying that we're trying to do that. I'm talking about women as a whole are trying to make ourselves look good to appease men that don't even be looking all top tier themselves.
Yeah.
It's like,
They don't even be together.
Listen, men got a sliding scale. Like, they equal opportunists out here, bro. I done seen some men. I'm like, wait a minute. You went from that to that, to that, to that. It ain't no. It's just like, yo, your preferences are all over the like, it's
Exactly.
all over the place. You can never. It's like you never really know what they like.
What is your type?
What is your type? And you know what? I'm not about to try to become it, because you don't even know. How am I become?
You don't even know.
You don't even know what your type is.
You don't even know what your type is.
But
and that's the thing, though. It's like you really, I mean, and that's why it's so important to get in control of your emotions, because a lot of self-sabotaging too is your emotions.
Yes.
Get them emotions under control, because you about to really just jump off the cliff, like seriously. And you don't have to. You really don't have to. I mean, I'm laughing, but being a hairstylist, you hear it all. You see it all. I mean, it's a lot of times when women may get in my chair, and I'm glad that also that I am the person that I am, because when you come in my salon, it's a no judgment shop. Like, it's literally nobody's bothering anybody. Everybody is on chill. You don't walk in there and feel like everybody's looking. Nobody speak. We all speak. Good morning. Hello. Because we want you to let your hair down in there. You don't have to come in there with your best outfit on. Come there as you. Like, this is your time. We don't like for kids to come in there, not because we don't like your kids, but this is your time. You can't, how do you take care of yourself and you got a baby over here that wants to eat or wants to play, wants to touch this, that you're not, all those things add up to, we have to get in control of our emotions. We have to get in control of what we see for ourselves. Is okay to go after that. And if you're comfortable with who you are, then you have to be around some people who are also comfortable with who you are. I see it over and over again when we talk about body. It's not body shaming, but it's like, it's nothing wrong with a woman wanting to enhance something, but don't do it based off of what you think you're going to get from it. That's the problem.
Yeah. Yes.
Because if it's not an inner thing that you're getting and you're looking for a response out in the street, maybe that's self-sabotaging right there.
That is.
Because you might not like what you get, or you might sell your soul for some other things, So, I mean, it's just deeper. It's so deep. And I just want to real quick, because I don't want to talk too much, but I want to piggyback off of your calves. Girl, I got big calves too. And I just thought of another moment when you were talking. I used to my mother had me in tap, jazz, ballet, and dance. Okay?
Yep.
I was very, very formed. And at probably like I'm so glad they stopped. I thought to come out here is peaceful, but they're mowing the lawn. I don't know. I'm sorry. So if y'all hear something in the back, that's what's going on. But I got out of gymnastics because my calves, my body started forming like that. What you said, Serena Williams, or Serena or
Serena, yeah. Yes.
I can relate to that. And 6th grade, 7th grade, before I got to 7th grade, I stopped dancing. I stopped doing everything. I was like, Ma, I don't want to do this anymore. And she was like, why? They want to train you for the Olympics. You're doing so good. Da, 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 da. I don't like the way my body is going. That was a thing for me. Like, so I know for me, my self-esteem was not, that started back then, you know, so that's a real thing, you know, and I mean, something that people look at right now, people who work out and your legs may be naturally like mine, they like, damn, you working out? I don't work out nowhere. I need to be working out. But there was a time when I didn't pride off of that, to where I wouldn't wear shorts. I wouldn't wear anything where you could see my legs, you know, and that's something that rooted from 6th grade.
And you know what, as we bring this to a close, because we're not going to hold y'all up all Monday morning, but I want y'all to be reminded, all of these things that we saying, we got to address these within ourselves, because we are raising daughters, and our daughters are looking at us. And like Kendra said, this started in her from when she was young. And I'm sure that all of our insecurities, they were birthed in they was conceived in us when we were younger, and they just manifested to whatever they are becoming. So it's at some point, we got to birth that thing, and we got to like if it's not for us, you know what I'm saying? We need to just go ahead and get rid of it, because we're going to pass that along to our daughters. Our daughter's going to start, you know, doing the same thing. And I don't know, it'll probably take some real, like Kendra, if you had to go and think about where that even came from, right? It's probably a place, but you know, I don't know. That probably be a whole nother
getting to the root of it.
Getting to the root of it, you know? So it's like, as women, like coming on here and addressing the things we got going on with ourselves, healing our hurts, healing our pains. Like, we mothers out here. And if you're not a mother and you're going to look to become one, it's like, you got these young girls, these young men that's looking up to us. And we just want them to know how to feel for themselves, like how to be strong within themselves. We can't change the world or the environment. We can't, I mean, everybody gonna continue, but like, I hate Instagram, be scrolling. I hate what it be making me feel like, and people be addicted to it. So it's like, just your human behavior is to be scrolling. So be confident as you scroll. Like, dang, she look good. But it don't make you feel like you don't. You know what I'm saying? Like, you stop. Like, oh dang, like her body look great. Like, maybe let it be a motivation, but don't let it be a self-degradation moment. You know what I'm saying? Where you want to start talking down on yourself. And I just think that that's one of the biggest things, takeaways from this live today. It's like, address when those moments happen and when they occur, and when you feel that way, and when that emotion surfaces, just like how to kill it. And we're going to close this in a prayer, and say a prayer over it. In those moments that you do feel like it, just say a quick prayer. You don't have to be 7 minutes, the deacon that don't never want to stop. You don't got to do none of that. Like, just literally kill it where it is, you know, because it's something that can really drive you to a new place mentally and everything. So that's what I got to say before we close. Anybody else got something that they want to say?
I want to say something really quick. And if you feel like you can't work your stuff out by yourself, I mean, we got to really promote this in the Black community. Seek therapy. Go and talk to somebody. It is nothing wrong with that, because sometimes you need to get that mess off your chest. You need to talk to somebody who is non-biased. You know, they're not biased. They just there for you to say what you need to say. Like, sometimes people bottle a lot of things up. That's not what we need to be in this time right now. We need to release all of that. We need to be the best that we can be. We don't know where this world is going. I pray that we're all going to be great. But there's a lot of things happening in this world right now. Go get help. If you need to talk to somebody, don't be afraid. Listen, therapy is good.
I was just going to agree with that, like 100%. It takes work, like, to build up your team. It does start from where within either your house outside influencing your, in order to rework that, in order to work, it takes easy. It's not.
I can't hear you. I can't hear you.
I think, Kendra, put your phone on mute real quick. Put yours on. Oh, you know, we can't do mute on here, can we?
Yes, you can.
Yeah.
There we go.
There
Okay,
you
that's better.
gonna say it takes time. It takes time to rebuild that mindset. And so I agree with Kendra. Therapy and some Jesus.
And some Jesus. Therapy and Jesus. Look.
You
Carrie. Carrie, you got
Um,
anything to say?
just something small. Just keep working on yourself, and I really try to focus on like staying in my own lane and running my own race. So just run your own race, like no matter what that is, even in your image and in your thoughts. Like run your own race. The enemy comes to steal, kill, and destroy. And if he can get in your brain and tap into your brain, he got you in the chokehold. So as
Mhm.
long as you keep continuing to allow those bad thoughts, I mean those bad things of what everyone else is saying, or even yourself, you will forever be down. So you gotta fight against it. You gotta want to
Right.
get out of it. You gotta fight against it. You gotta, when the enemy's saying, "Oh, you ugly," you gotta be like, "No, I'm pretty."
Mhm.
You gotta, you know what I'm saying? And if you have certain areas in your life and what you're not feeling secure about, get secure on them. Get in the gym. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Start eating better. Start creating better lifestyle habits for yourself. That might open the doors to do anything. You know what I mean? But you gotta just don't let the enemy defeat your brain and be in isolation. And the next thing you know, you're depressed. So that was
Right.
my
And
spiel.
I'm glad you said that because I was telling Carrie a story about my son was running track, right? And when my son was running track, he was doing really good. Like he was doing. Oh no, I think I was telling Kendra. I was telling somebody. And my son was running track, and he was doing like a good job. But the thing that he would do when he started to get tired, he would look over to his right, because he was in the outer lane, so he'd look over to his right. And the minute he would look over to his right, he'd slow down because he'd get off of balance. But the moment he stayed like looking forward and he paced himself and he was like focusing on the finish line. And so then when he got that burst of energy, he would go. He won 4 medals. But I could tell the difference of when he looked over, trying to look around to kind of see where everybody else is. It threw him off. And
Mhm.
when I was just getting mad, like, look at like going crazy, like, bro, stop looking at what they doing. If we could take that literally and apply it to our lives, when you running in your lane, like Carrie was saying, when you in your lane and you running your race, like literally stop looking at what everybody else is doing. Cause that's what, like, literally, I mean, like literally in a race, it'll throw you off. And it's like in your life, like stop looking at what everybody else is in their business, how everybody else look, how everybody relationship look. Like stop it. Like, cause the thing is that it's throwing you off. And that don't got nothing to do with you. Like that's their lane, that's they race. Listen, and you probably, it's not even so much of having a leg up on them, you know what I'm saying? But you can win your race. Like you can hit the finish line at the speed and the pace that you want. So it's like we really got to work on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you really just got to focus on. And I know it sounds so cliche, like focus on the prize, but it's like literally, if that's the goal, if the goal is the finish line and to get a medal, that's all that should be. Like we should really be having as the focus. You know what I'm saying? And so yeah, I'm glad as Carrie just said that because I think that's what we need. We need more of this and not trying to be all like this.
Yes.
And I guess
So
that's another. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no,
Go
you
ahead. I'm
go.
sorry. And I
No,
guess
no.
that's the reason why I didn't realize certain things about myself, because I was never looking to the left or looking to the right. I was always just so not into myself, like vain, but I never really cared about anybody else. Like
Yeah.
I don't pay attention. So when somebody started pointing out to me, I'm like, or comparing me to other people, I'm like, oh, well, I guess. But I never was used, because I literally run my own race about everything. I don't care about what everybody else is doing. So, but like Jamia said, run your own race. And I had the same caption when Wes was running track. That's something I learned from the kids. Like when the
Mm-hmm.
kids start looking to the left and to the right, they start losing. But when
They start losing.
they locked into their own lane, they take off.
They do so much better.
Yeah.
And that's the thing you do in motherhood. What I found, I've learned so much of my greatest lessons from my children and watching them and
Yes.
parenting them. And it's just like, man, we just gotta do these things. We gotta like watch and kind of learn, squeeze a lesson out of everything. And that was a lesson that I suppose out of that, like that was pertaining to life, period. So yeah, we just gotta work on these things, y'all. And I mean, if you're going through something, if you're feeling bad about yourself, I'm gonna say 2 things. Like, pay attention who's around you. That's number one. Like, pay attention who's around you, who's feeding you different thoughts, who's building you up and who's bringing you down. Make notes. You get a journal, write these things
Yeah.
down So you can be very intentional about what you're seeing. You know what I'm saying? And then, like, you know, after that, kind of be responsible. Hold yourself accountable. And if it's your body that you don't like, get in the gym. Just get in the gym. Like, just start, or start walking, or just start eating right, or start doing smaller portions. Hold yourself accountable to do something about it. And then seal it. This whole month is about prayer because it does work. And what we're going to do is, like, just fill it with all prayer. Like, God, just give me the strength, because you don't want to fall short. You ain't perfect. You human. You going to want a cheeseburger. The bugs be good. I gave up beef for a minute, and when I started back, girl, I went in. I was like, dang, how did I get this up? But, you know, all in all, I want you to pray for strength to be able to sustain what you're trying to do. Sustain being away from the people that's trying to bring you down. Sustain a mental capacity that allows you to feel strong and feel inspired in who you are, you know, and just do some work. And these are a couple of things. Like I said, acknowledge who the people are around you, write it down, you know, do something about it, and pray about it. Those 3 things you can do that can really impact your situation today, starting today, if you apply them. So
I want to add another thing, Mia, real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Practice also, ladies, men, whoever, stand in the mirror and look at yourself and tell yourself what you love about yourself every day.
Try it naked too. Like, butt naked.
For real.
Butt naked.
Honor your body and be like, God, this may not be perfect, but I love this about myself, or I love that about myself. Find something positive that you like every day about yourself, about your personality, about whatever it is about you, about your hair, whatever. Find it, honor it, write it down, and remember those things so that when people get in your head, the enemy gets in your head, you can come against all of that.
Yes. Yes. Yes, y'all.
I love this. Okay. I'm so thankful for y'all this morning. The weekend we had, and I'm talking the weekend we had, like we had a rendezvous. The weekend we had. Y'all know I'm always coming with the jokes and spirits and things. I'm so thankful for y'all this morning. Aaron, you did amazing. Like, I need to publicly scream that to the God really used you in a mighty way. If you all haven't tapped into the Clean campaign, I need everybody to follow her ASAP. Make sure you do not miss next year's event. It was just an event filled with very positive women, and the company that she kept is just a true example of the leader that she is. You taught me so much. Jermia, thank you for just this wonderful introduction of all these great women. I'm just very thankful. And we need God more than ever. It's not about being perfect, but it's really about serving the perfect God.
Yes.
Yeah. For sure. Well, we about to go into meditation, and then this prayer is everything that we talked about is going to be inclusive. Our prayer is going to be inclusive of everything, because we want y'all to go throughout the week, the month, the year, feeling stronger about who you are, who God created you to be, and walking more in a purposeful life. You know, like, you were created perfect. It's like, I want you to believe that, and just be like, okay, so how do I embody this? How do I illustrate this? Like, how do I walk tall in this and bold in this? And how can I be like, I am the Shia, okay? Like, that's every single day. I am the Shia. Listen, don't play.
Miss Kendra, are you praying for us today? What we doing? What?
I'm gonna let you lead the prayer, because that last prayer that I heard you do, I need you to lead this prayer right here. I need you.
I receive it. All right, y'all. Let's get real quick. And for those of us who are joining us for the first time, you know, we end all of our calls with just a place of meditative contemplation, I call it. Just thinking about the things that God has placed on our hearts, and thinking about the things that we need to rid ourselves of, and just imagine giving those things to God. So we're going to do that right now, and then we're going to end in prayer. So everybody just take a deep breath right now and breathe in God's love, and breathe out negativity, whether that's negative thoughts or the negative words that Satan tries to fill your heads with, or the negative things that people have said about you in the past, or the comparison that people have tried to place in your mind. And I just want you to let go all the tension in your body right now, because I know that when we hear tough things, sometimes our body just tenses up. So go ahead and release your shoulders right now. If you're sitting down, go ahead and release your hips into the chair. And just practice floating before God. Imagine yourself giving him each and every instance you have in your life. I'm not good enough. I'm not beautiful enough. I don't have the right personality. Who am I to think that I can do great things? I'm not financially stable. I'm not a good mother. I don't look like her. I don't look like. Just imagine giving. And as I imagine him keeping promises, who he says. Holy Spirit, we welcome you into this place wherever we are right now, God. We welcome your spirit into our hearts right now, God. We welcome the words you say to us about how we are made, who we are. The Bible says we're made in your image. How can we be anything other than loving and humble and wonderful? It also says that we're fearfully and wonderfully made. So if we're made in your image, God, help us to walk in the fruits of the Spirit. Remind us what those even are, educate us on what those even are if we don't know what they are. Help us to desire more of you and less of what the world has to say about us, God. Help us to go back to where it all started and recall those things that started to be negative in our minds, God, and help us to release those things back to you, God, and replace them with positivity and loving words, your word. Help us to find unity of people who will uplift us and not break us down. Help us to understand that.
Talk about.
And as the season shifts, maybe people have to go, maybe places have to go, but whatever you have
In
for
my
us
wallet.
is good, because you're a good Father. God, help us to stand on your word so confidently.
Love you.
God, help those who are hurting right now to be healed. Help those who are in pain right now to be filled with joy because of Christ, because of what he did for us. We love you so much, and it's in Jesus' name that we pray all of these things. Amen.
Amen.
Oh, you on mute, Mia. Yeah.
My bad, y'all. My bad. But yeah, no, I definitely I think that this live will probably help a lot of people. And I hope and pray that it does, because I know it's a lot of people struggling with themselves right now. So I pray that it touches a lot of people where they are. Thank you guys for joining us. And
Thank you
yes,
for having me too. Thank you, me.
you're
I
welcome.
appreciate
Can I
this.
shout
I
somebody
needed
out?
this.
Yeah.
Auntie Bridget from the clean.
Hey,
Hey, Auntie, if you ain't
Hey,
Auntie
Auntie
Bev, hey
Bridget.
y'all.
Hey, y'all.
Hey, they adopted me, y'all. They didn't adopted me and
they
Jermaine
the new auntie.
into the auntie gang. Hey y'all.
Right. Hey, y'all. Y'all have a great Monday, okay?
Yes. Yes.
Take care,
Everybody have a
y'all.
great Monday, great week.
Hey, y'all.
All
Thank you
right.
again.
See you tomorrow.
Yes.
Bye.
Thank you, Jersey.
Hey,
Detroit, what else? I know.
Right.
Rep your
Detroit,
city.
Jersey.